All right, we are officially live. Welcome to another great episode of Framing New Heights, y'all. My name is Michael Hicks. I am the host with the most. And today, before I get into my topic, I want to give you a word from our sponsors. Do you want to become the best version of yourself? Do you want to strive in all areas of your life? Well, with Live to Thrive coaching, I empower you to become the best version of yourself. Well, how do I do that? With 25 years of experience, I've got the perfect plan, undescribable, the best framework that will uncover and allow you to become the best version of yourself. The mindset. I help you discover how to uncover your subconscious, how to talk to yourself authentically, real, like you would to your best friend. And number 2, body. I will transform your body. Just give me 90 days. You can lose up to 20 pounds with my workout sent to your email or my 3 published ebooks. And lastly, what I like to call purpose. So my program, Live to Thrive, Mind, Body, and Soul, is discovering your purpose. That's where the soul piece comes into place. When you're able to truly uncover your purpose, you will live more authentically, you will live with excitement, and most importantly, your life will thrive, your career will thrive, as well as your relationships. If you truly want to learn more, you can apply now by simply going to www.livetothrive.com. Unlock better sleep with CBD oil. What is CBD oil? Guess what? It's Amish tested. It's proven for aches and pains, especially if you can't sleep and you're really struggling with maybe those pains late at night. With this promo code, if you just go New Heights, capital N, all uppercase, locked caps, New Heights at the checkout, you can earn 50% off any CBD oil product that you want to purchase. All you got to do is go to envitamins.com. That's envitamins.com. All right, so I'm excited to chat with you today about this episode. We are getting near to ending season 2 and uncovering season 3, which I've got new things, new guests, repeated guests coming back, etc. I want to talk a little bit about today as I go into, I want to offer alternative ways to create positive habits. And when you create these positive habits, y'all, you're going to be able to age gracefully. And how you can do that, and it's about establishing positive habits daily, right? And what these habits will do, they will enrich your lives. They will allow you to be less drained and more happy. Like everybody's like, I want to be happy. I want to be happy. Well, in order to be happy, y'all, you first got to be healthy. You got to be healthy. If you're not healthy, if your kids are not healthy, they are not going to be happy. You're not going to be happy. So I'm going to uncover 10, and I repeat, 10 habits you need to let go of immediately if you want to age happier, if you want to age healthier, and if you want to age with uncovering your true purpose. I want to start with number 1. Do you live in the past? When you go and hang out with your friends, is it always talking about the past? Is there any uncovering of new things, what's going on new? Or is it the past that you constantly go back to? Because the past can truly block your path to fulfilling a present meaning. The present is exactly that. It's a present. It's a gift. And when we uncover that, now I'm not diminishing our memories because memories are absolutely wonderful. However, if we live in it, What are we missing out on? And what is life? Life is happening as we know it. Life is happening now as I'm recording this podcast. Life is about the moments we currently live for. So let's focus on the moments ahead rather than being weighed down by nostalgic things that have happened to us in the past. And when we are in those frames and discussing those beautiful things, and I get it, I know, I catch myself too is reminiscing about the fun moments, the fun times. How can you still be part of your friendship base without living in the past? Woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? I think Coach K always had a great quote about that, and I'm going to miss out on a quote, but he talked about woulda, coulda, shoulda, about just being in the moment. Stop woulda, coulda, shoulda. Shoulda? Maybe, maybe not. You understand what I'm saying here? Is when we are constantly living in the past, we have a sense of it holds us back from any growth that we want to take, any new perspective we want to do. And it also then paints a picture of who those people were or are when you were hanging out with them 10 years ago. I tell you what, I'm the first one, and I've discussed this numerous times on my podcast, is I've been the first one to admit change. One of the biggest change, and I discovered this recently in a sermon that was being taught, was the sermon was, I was always a believer, right? I grew up being a believer my whole life. My mom took me to church. I was raised in Lutheran settings, from Lutheran grade school to Lutheran middle school. Then I got a scholarship to play sports at a Lutheran high school. And then I went on to play basketball at Concordia University. And then I also went and did my master's at a Catholic school. So I was always part of the Lutheranism or religion aspect. But the one thing that really I struggled with was the fact that I wasn't a follower. I wasn't a follower. I wasn't living life with purpose. And the words that would come out of my mouth were not of a believer. Maybe, let me say that again. They were not always the words that a believer would be. And that's vitally important. And I look back, your past should be a resemblance of how far you have grown. And if you can look back, and I can, and I believe that I was a believer, but I wasn't a follower in Christ. And I can say in today's day and age, my life is about the righteous and doing the right things. And one of my I am statements is, allow me to walk in the likeness of my Creator. I fail miserably every time. However, are you talking it? When you're driving in the car with your kids, are you speaking about it? Or are you still doing the same old stuff that you did in the past? So, number one, stop living in the past. If you want to create a more happier, healthy, and purposeful life, stop living in the past. That's number one. Number two, stop neglecting self-care. This is monumental, you all. Monumental. And when we don't take care of ourselves, everything else suffers. Your family suffer. Your relationships suffer. Your kids suffer. Your career suffers. You internally become more depressed. Now, memories are absolutely important, as I talked about earlier, in living in the past. Don't forget about those. Memories are really, really good. And that was my number one point. However, going back to neglecting self-care. When was the last time you got a massage? When was the last time you put on a face mud mask? Like, when was the last time you had a pedicure? When was the last time you did those things? When was the last time you worked out? Now, self-care isn't a luxury, y'all. It's a necessity. Daily exercise, daily movement. I got a new plan that I'm doing in my Facebook group, and you can join the Facebook group if you're interested. Do you want to become 1% better every single day? And that plan is a 45-day plan of creating 30 minutes of movement. And that could just be walking. That's self-care. Self-care is absolutely critical. And not only that, in that 45-day program that I have, and it's absolutely free, it's just an accountability piece, is a balanced diet. Finding time to decompress. Prioritizing your own well-being allows you to get more energy for the needed, necessary things in your life. So you gotta do that. You gotta prioritize self-care and stop neglecting self-care. When was the last time you did something? I've got an entire podcast. If you don't know what self-care is, please go ahead and take a look at it. I've got over 100 episodes on Framing New Heights. Please take a look at that. That is a great, and listen to that. That's a great podcast if you really want to dive into self-care. Oh, this next one is key, y'all. Again, I got 10 talking points today that I want to talk about and how to age gracefully with healthier perspective, a more abundant mindset, and also a purposeful mindset. Do you hold on to grudges? Man, I can remember my mom and dad growing up. Man, would they hold on to grudges about somebody that did something in the family? Woo, doggy. I remember that. And when you do hold on to those, guess what? They hold you back. I'll give you an example. Let's say someone forgot your birthday. Okay? Maybe it was a friend. And I've done this numerous times. I forgot to text my buddy. And that may have hurt. Man, he forgot my birthday. That may hurt. Are you holding on to that grudge? Or are you forthright and you said, hey, my birthday is really important to me. It really hurt my feelings that you just forgot about it. So that piece is really, really important. So don't hold on to grudges and learn to forgive. Learn to let go. Learn to forgive, especially because here's the biggest thing. When things are bad, and if you can learn how to forgive, you're letting yourself off of the hook. And what happens is if you cannot forgive, you'll have more weight of negativity that seeps into your life. You're going to have more issues personally. You're going to have more issues professionally. So the number one thing that I often tell my clients is the ability to let go. The ability to forgive. And I know that's hard. But Michael, you don't know what they did. I tell you, if you know my personal story and you want to learn more, you can go on my YouTube channel. Just type in Michael Hicks and learn. You can learn about I know most of you where you're at. And that's the reason why I became a life coach strategist, because of my daily struggles and where I came out of the pit, and now I want to teach that to you. So make sure, y'all, please begin to practice forgiveness. And number one, forgive yourself. We're going to make mistakes. Learn to forgive yourself. And number 4, I want to jump into number 4. Do you compare yourself to others? Do you do that? Do you go through the highlight reel on Instagram, TikTok, and man, that guy looks a certain way, or that woman looks a certain way. I want to be like them. If you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, you will never reach full self-actualization. Proven statistic on that. And plus, there's no such thing as perfect. We're not perfect in any concept, any meaning, any way. So the grass seems to be greener on the other side. However, when you learn how to water the grass that's on your side, you'll learn to be more abundant. You'll be able to learn more, practice how to become more abundant. You'll learn how to practice on how to forgive. You'll learn how to authentically live with purpose. And when you're doing that, when you're going down the pipe hole of uncovering the highlight reels of people's stories, and gosh, look at my life, it's so amazing. If you go down that route, comparison, what it does, it steals your joy. It steals your fulfillment. It steals the things that you are very good at. And one of the biggest things that you need to remember is there is no one like you. There's absolutely nobody like you in this world. No one. Out of the billions of people that are in this world, there is no one like you. So focus, here's the key point. Focus on your journey. Focus on your unique path, your progress. Are you progressing? Is there something that you are struggling with in your life? Maybe it's in your relationships. Maybe it's in your career. If it is, this is the year to find a mentor, to find a coach, to get you through that piece, because with your passions is a surefire way to reunite your internal happiness. And if you don't know that, why are you waiting so long when tomorrow's not guaranteed? It's not guaranteed tomorrow. So stop comparing yourself to other people. I want to talk about this. This is a big one. And, as many clients as I have probably 3 times as many that don't want to use my services. And I'm being fully transparent because, and here's the reason why. They're afraid of change. And I'll say this often, I say it all the time, is when you're constantly in shit then becomes that smell that you have. It becomes a custom. You're used to it. It's just what it is. And the saying comes in, well, it is what it is. That is one of the most detrimental sayings you can say to yourself if you want a more fulfilling life. A more fulfilling life of happiness, fortitude, appreciation, forgiveness, understanding, purpose. Now, a lot of us, change is very intimidating. It's very scary because it's a step into the unknown. However, I always say this, you'll never know until you do it. You'll never know until you take that leap of faith, that step. You either live in a fearful state, your life, and then when the highlight reel comes, when your time comes on this day, and your creator says to you, I'm going to show you the woulda, coulda highlight reel, or do you want just your normal reel? I'm going to show you both. They're going to show you both, and then you're going to decide, like, man, I lived a life in fear. And when we do that, our gateway to growth, it doesn't go. It doesn't change. Instead, it allows you to live in a state that is saddening for your family, saddening for your career, saddening for you, and you become stagnant. And you lessen your ability for the opportunity to evolve. Life's about evolving, y'all. It's about change. It's about creating change. Then change leads to habits. Habits lead to momentum. Momentum leads to success. Success leads to the ability to become the best version of yourself. I will tell you this. The best experience comes when you take a step into the unknown. I remember when I had the opportunity to bring on a coach to build my business, to build my brand, I was scared. I was scared because of the cost. I was like, how am I going to do this? But faith got me through it. And I can remember distinctively, either it was God talking to me or it was my subconscious saying, do it, go for it. When you have that ability to leap out and trust into faith, your life changes from black and white to vibrant, vivacious color. It's like going from the passenger seat of the vehicle to actually driving that vessel that you have right here, this vessel, driving it, being fulfilled with happiness, abundance, excitement. So take that step into the unknown, because that's where growth changes. And I want to talk a little bit on my next point, in number 7, avoiding risks. Let's talk about that. Do you play it safe? Are you so happy in your little comfortable bubble? What happens when that bubble breaks? Do you have the mindset to overcome that? I'll give you an example. My daughter is so particular on schedule. Sometimes schedules just don't work. So I'm teaching her now how to juggle those situations when they are not the norm, quote unquote. Because in life, we got to be able to understand that playing it safe is comfortable. And when we are comfortable, we age faster. You have to do things that are uncomfortable to your body. I'm not saying don't neglect self-care and all of that stuff that I talked about earlier. What I am telling you, though, is if you want to age gracefully, you got to get out of your comfort zone. Because when you stay in your comfort zone, you'll always never reach your true full potential. You know, whether it's your career or your personal life, you need to take calculated risks, open up new opportunities, and sometimes those biggest leaps of faith are one of the greatest rewards you will ever make. Hence my business, hence my life coaching business. It's a beautiful apparatus that I have that I'm able to provide value to my other clients. And if I didn't take that leap of faith and hire a coach to know how to even do this, I wouldn't be here today talking to you. So that was number 7. Number 8. Oh, I kind of alluded a little bit on this early. How often do you guys, how many of you have been in like sports and your coach would always say, practice makes perfect? Whoa. Rewind. Practice never makes perfect. Can you get better in games? 100%. So I bring you to this point. Do you chase perfection? Are you a perfectionist? This is one of my big modules that I hone in on deeply in my Live to Thrive life coaching and mindset coaching, is I allow you and help you unravel these pieces, because if you're struggling and striving for perfection, you're always going to fail. And then with failure constantly happening, you don't reach your true full potential. Now, I teach you how to get through the detours on all of that and how to overcome those pieces. Now, perfectionism is an illusion that can rob you of your joy. And when you strive for progress and not perfection, what happens is that opens up a whole new window of opportunity and allows you to embrace your true full potential in growth in all areas of your life. And instead of feeling the pressure of unrealistic expectations, you can now uncover the realization of that we are all born with original sin. We are going to fail immensely over and over and over. But when we fail, what are we doing when that happens? What's your plan of attack? Are you redoing it, or you just stop completely? I'm just not good enough. that's the first piece that I talk about is the mindset, is when you're telling yourself these things, your subconscious hears those, and then you're going to believe it. So don't go down the path of chasing perfectionism. Because when you do, you'll never reach your true full potential. Number 9, overcommitment. Again, all of these are simple. And they're very simple. However, a lot of us don't know how to uniquely infuse them into our lives. Do you live in a life where you're constantly saying yes, and then you become burnt out, overwhelmed, exhausted? Now you got to take care of your kids and you're not feeling well. Overcoming and saying yes can lead to everything I just talked about. And when it leads to that, you got to learn how to set up quality boundaries for your kids, yourself especially, and learn how to prioritize what truly matters. I have another module piece that I use in my coaching framework. It's called time management. And I hone in on this immensely because this has a lot of perfect ways to overcome the overcommitment train. And when you can learn, and write this down, if you're taking notes today on this podcast, write this down. By saying no more often, you'll create more space for the commitments that align with your values and bring out true, full, purposeful fulfillment. And even before that, you need to outline and make sure that when you're talking, if you're in a relationship, what are your values? Maybe for the family, what are your values in a relationship? What are those values? And how are they in alignment to where you are going? Remember that. That piece is absolutely monumental. And the last piece that I want to talk about today is, do you neglect relationships? And here's what I mean. When it's our time to leave this planet, the most important thing you can have are relationships, is the people that love you, immensely support you, care for you. Are you neglecting those relationships? Because at the end of the day, they give you the joy, they give you the love, they give you the calmness, the peacefulness, and I want you to be able to prioritize those relationships in your life. Prioritize the individuals that are important, that bring you growth, bring you purpose, bring fulfillment. I've got many of them in my life, and I honestly take time to send out gratitude texts and just say thank you. Thank you for everything you've done. Thank you for being there when I need you. Thank you for helping me with this. Thank you for helping me with that. Thanks for just being a friend. Foster those in relationships, because at the end of the day, that's what we have. And without that, we won't be strong in our relationships. We won't have a true foundation of happiness or a fulfilling life if you cannot share that with anybody. So stop neglecting those relationships that are absolutely vital. And high achievers, as I exit the podcast today, my final thought is, you have the power of choice. You have the choice to either stay up late and watch Netflix and feel terrible the next morning, or you have the choice to go to bed early and do some journaling and then go to sleep. You have the choice. Are you going to eat processed foods? Are you going to drink alcohol every single day? Or are you going to be in a relationship that's unfulfilling to your needs and wants? And you're being abused mentally, physically, emotionally. You have to ask yourself, what is your worth? You have the power to choose. And if you want to age happier, if you want to age healthier, if you want to age with more purpose and more fulfilling life, you have to start by letting go of these happiness thieves. Who's stealing? The question you need to ask yourself, who's stealing the happiness from your life? Who is it? What is it? Maybe that's what you got to let go of. Oh, Michael, I understand I got a job and this job is good money for my family, but man, I hate it. I hate it. You got to ask yourself, you have the choice. Is it stealing your happiness? Oh, Michael, you don't understand. I'm a man. I got to provide. I do understand. Let me help you with that. Let me help you provide a different framework for your understanding. It's always good to hire a coach. It's always good to hire a mentor. You have the power of choice. And the choices you make today dictate your future. I remember distinctively, and I see this today often. You remember you'd go to a fast food restaurant, right? Because we didn't know any better as kids. We thought we were invincible, right? You eat all this junk, right? And then you put it in a bag, and then you would drive somewhere and you would just set it on the road. Just set it right there. It's the power of choice, right? I see it often, and I see it always to this day. It is something that I think that I still internally wrestle with because I was that person that did that. So the power of choice. Another power of choice is, I struggle with this, and I'm going to share this with you guys, is, when I go to church, I visually see the singers that are projecting beautiful songs and singing praises of God. And then I look at their bodies, not in a sexual way. However, I look at them and I'm like, they're not taking care of their bodies like God intended them to do. Our body is our temple. Yet they're projecting these things. And I'm going to be honest with you. I struggle physically when I go to physical church instead of online, and I see that. I struggle with that. And that's something that I have a choice to make. I have a choice to either say, okay, I hear you. What's the message? Michael, what's the message to their song? What's the message to the sermon? I internally struggle with that. So you have the power of choice, y'all. The power of choice to either live a stagnant, unhappy, aging fast life with no purpose, or you can change that. And I gave you 10 monumental ways today in order to create that change for a healthier, happier, purposeful life. Until next time, my friends, as always, stay committed to the cause and 1% better in mind, body, and soul, and stay flexed.